Welcome to the DoubleACS Daily News. In light of the recent school shooting in Uvalde, Texas on Wednesday, Attleboro Mayor Paul Heroux and Attleboro Police Chief Heagney held a brief press conference on the safety measures that have been implemented in the Attleboro Public School system. Here are a few clips from the press conference.
Here in Attleboro, we are being very proactive with our school safety. We're doing things that a lot of other communities are not doing. One of the things we're most proud of is having a gunshot detection system in the school department, and that will basically alert the police instantly if a gunshot goes off, and the acoustics trigger that. If we can reduce response time, we can save lives. So that's one thing we're doing. The police chief has some police training that's going on in the school department, but these are things that are not required, but we do because we want to make sure that if there's ever a situation here in Attleboro, we respond immediately. Again, if we reduce response time, you save lives. In the future, we're going to be looking at some proactive measures, things to keep guns out of the schools in the first place. But those things are still, we're looking at different things. But with that, I'll turn it over to the chief so he can tell you what he's doing within the police department.
In Attleboro, as the mayor said, we have installed an active shooter system, a shooter detection system in our public schools. It's a very proactive approach for notification. If an unfortunate incident would happen in one of our schools, our response time would be significantly reduced. Our notification process to our police department would be seconds. We would not have to wait for a 911 call or other means. We would instantaneously be notified. So thanks to the mayor and the city council for their support, the school superintendent, the school committee, and also the school teachers as a whole for their partnership in bringing in this valuable system. So it's specifically designed to hone in on the acoustic decibel of a round going off, a bullet being discharged from a gun. That's a certain audible acoustic range that the technology picks that up. It cancels out any other type of noise in the non-decibel range. It's been used in several other government buildings throughout the country. Some very hardened, enriched environments such as the White House, the Pentagon. It's widely used in the military, so it's not new technology, it's proven technology that we're bringing to our school system to keep our children safe.
So it's some of the target hardening that's going on is making sure that all the school doors are locked all around. The new high school, which is being built right behind me, that has fewer entrances to that building than the current high school, which we're closing this summer. And the entrances to the new high school has a shatterproof glass that the police department, police chief personally witnessed. They shot at it, they hit it with sledgehammers. They could not get through it. I mean, they really tried. So it's a lot of target hardening. There's also the interest in, and we're looking at this as a technology right now, but trying to detect guns before they come into the schools. So when you're going through an airport, you might have these very large, imposing metal detectors, but there are other types of technology that can scan a body and determine if there's a gun on the person as they're approaching the door. And also there's turnstiles that kids could walk through and teachers could walk through to detect if there is a gun on somebody. So there's a lot of things that we can do proactively and reactively. But one of the things I didn't mention earlier is that school shootings are now more common than school fires, and they're more deadly than a school fire, and that's why we're taking this so seriously. In fact, I call on the state legislature in Massachusetts and everywhere, Rhode Island, everywhere in the country, to make it a requirement to have a gunshot detection system in your schools, just like you have a fire alarm system, because the minute a gunshot goes off, the police department needs to know about it, just like the minute a smoke detector is triggered, the fire department needs to know about it. If you can reduce the response time, you can save lives. And like I said, school shootings are now more common and more deadly than school fires.
Chief Heagney and Mayor Heroux also spoke on the topic of arming school personnel and the use of school resource officers.
I don't believe teachers should be armed. It's easy to go to the range and shoot at a target and hit that target, but when the target is moving and firing back at you, it's a little different, and it's not as easy as they portray in Hollywood. So I believe the best course of action is to have school resource officers deployed within schools. That's the ultimate and primary line of defense for any type of active shooter, is someone in the school, fully trained, fully aware on how to respond to these incidents. We should still have our three-phase model of prevention, education, and identification, and that's what we do in Attleboro. So the shooter detection system is very advanced technology. When, God forbid, an incident would happen or should happen in Attleboro, everybody in the police department will be notified of the activation at one of our schools, including the police dispatches, so we can instantaneously respond, including the SRO who is assigned to the school. Along with that, school administrators are also notified instantaneously, so lockdown procedures can happen. And I'd like to add that we have conducted ALICE training in Attleboro through the school system, the school teachers. We have several officers that are ALICE trained. So there is concentric layers of prevention and security that we're doing here. And I'd just like to say thank you to the mayor and the city council for the funding to provide this service to our community, to the parents, so they can have their children go to school and feel that much more secure and safe. It's unfortunate that we need to take these levels of protection for our children within our society. It's pretty shameful. However, this is the society we live in today. So we have to do everything we can, and Attleboro is very serious about that.
I also don't support teachers being armed in the school department, just like the police chief had said. Where you have more guns, you're going to have more gun accidents, and having a gun in a classroom is not a good idea. If some high school students can be very big. If they wanted to try and overpower a teacher, catch a teacher by surprise, that's a real concern. So I also don't support guns in schools.